Hello friends, myself Ashish. So now you've seen a video about a crocodile and some ox. So what was this video about? Can you tell? So this video was about epistemology. How can you relate this epistemology with this video? As you know, the great philosopher Plato, he explained this epistemology in a very nice manner. So let's see how. Plato was an Athenian philosopher during the classical period of ancient Greece, founder of the Platonist school and the academy, the first institute of higher learning in Western world. In philosophy, Plato's epistemology is a theory of knowledge developed by the Greek philosopher Plato and his followers. Platonic epistemology holds the knowledge of Platonic idea. Plato gave the main three examples or conditions of epistemology, which are truth, belief, and justification. So, as you've seen in the video, the crocodile, it was the truth because it was hiding under the water, but the ox didn't know that it was a crocodile. But one of them knew that it was the crocodile. So, it was another belief that it was a wooden log. And to justify that, the cow jumps upon the crocodile and he relieves the truth that it is a crocodile. But another one knew that it was a log. So when he justifies it, then he believes that it was a crocodile. And he believes that it is a crocodile. But the another ox, then again he says it's a log. So the process continues like this. So now I hope you have understood what is epistemology. So truth, belief, and justification. Here the philosophers tried to relieve the truth and what the peoples believed in that days. So to explain them it is true or it is wrong, and justification was given by these philosophers. And these all conditions make epistemology. Epistemology simply means knowledge or reason. Everything we learn is to acquire knowledge and to get more and more details about something. As per in the first video we seen, if everybody had the knowledge that it was a crocodile, so one ox would not die because of giving justification to the other ox that it is a crocodile. And today also we see that epistemology or truth, belief, and justification is needed in today's world also. Today if any scientist give any model of any scientific device or anything, he have to give justification for that and how he made that, then what he believed in and what is the truth behind his project. So we see philosophy is used in each and every subject today.
Myself Geeta Biswas. Now I will explain further about epistemology. Epistemology is the theory of knowledge developed in Greek by Plato and his followers. Plato divided epistemology in three parts, that is, metaphor of sun, analogy of divided line, and allegory of cave. Now I will tell you about metaphor of sun. Plato wrote a book, Republic. He uses the sun as a metaphor for source of intellectual illumination. As we know, strongest and the best source of light is sun, so due to it we can see objects properly. As we know, the sun is the only star in the galaxy that gives all the planet source of light, which is very useful for life. Now we can say, why do we need light? As we know, Plato said that sun is intellectual illumination, that is, due to light we can see object, we can see different colors, shapes, and different things due to sun. Plants can make their own food due to photosynthesis, which need light. So we can say that sun is metaphor for source of light. Now I will tell you about divided line. So, divided line is a visual metaphor for Plato's ontological view of the universe. Reality is divided into two basic parts, the invisible unchanging realm of universe, and the other is visible, ever-changing realm of particulars. Now, the lowest region is the realm of images or reflection of physical objects which are cognized through the faculty of imagination. The next realm of physical objects which are cognized through optimum or trust. The next level is the realm of mathematical objects which are cognized through intellect. And the last one is realm of ideas which are cognized through reasons. Now the third one is allegory of the cave. The allegory of the cave or Plato's cave is an allegory represented by Greek philosopher Plato in his work Republic. He compared the effect of education and the lack of education on the nature. This allegory is presented after the analogy of the sun and the analogy of the divided line. In this allegory, he described a group of people who have lived chained to the wall of a cave all of their lives, facing a blank wall. The people watch shadows projected on the wall from different objects passing in front of the fire and behind them, and give names to these shadows. The shadows are the prisoner's reality but are not accurate representations of the real world. Three higher levels exist: the natural sciences, mathematics, geometry, and deductive logic, and the theory of form. So he explained that prisoners who is freed from the cave and comes to understand that the shadow on the wall are not real, a philosophy aim to understand and perceive the high level of reality. However, the other inmates of the cave does not even desire to leave their prison.
Hello everyone, my name is Neashish Kamakar and here I am to speak about Plato's theory of forms. Plato was an Athenian philosopher during the classical period of ancient Greece. Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle were the three well-known faces in history of philosophy. When we use the term history of philosophy, we also think, or we can also describe as the history of humanity itself. These three people are the representatives of the humanity itself because their work laid the basic foundation of human civilization. They not only gave the basic foundation for science and technology, they also made it happen for arts, commerce, judicial studies, and other variety of fields. They were the one who laid the founding stones, and they gave the understanding and the existence what we are today, the knowledge and the opinions and the expectations of human civilization. In this theory of Plato's theory of forms, Plato has given many instances or many opinions that are dialectical and well versed in its own form. He has given us an approach towards thinking, towards logical thinking and logical execution of raising questions and of understanding what's happening or what's about to happen or what had happened in a logical manner, rather than giving our own arguments and behaving in rhetoric manner. Plato was a philosophist. His foremost work was the love of wisdom, and he has given us enunciated the basic difference between opinion and knowledge. Opinion can be expressed by anyone. An opinion shouldn't have to be a scientific proven fact. It shouldn't have to be a meaningful fact. An opinion just arises out of self-inflicted notion. If somebody doesn't like me, he will have an opinion about me, which may not be true to others. It's something like that. A friend
a guy among friend circle is not well known because everybody has opinion about that guy, but he doesn't have to be a bad man or a bad person. This is opinion, unjustified usually, and they are based on their own arguments and experiences, but experience or rather rhetoric in their own form. Well, knowledge based evidences help uh, give proper arguments. Knowledge is proven fact or scientifically proven truth. Knowledge is based on thorough understanding. It is not based on somebody else's views and opinions. So this is the basic difference between knowledge and opinion. Plato's theory of forms. The idea of forms is illustrated in the allegory of the cave. Plato believed true reality existed beyond normal perception of the world. What we perceive around us is a shadow of this truth. According to Plato, the world we live in is a poor imitation of the real world. Our world is constantly changing and we rely on our senses to understand what is going on. We are not the same person we were 3 years, hours, or seconds ago. Cells are forever changing and ideas flit through our minds. Plato was therefore sure that the real world is outside the one we live in. This real world is changing. The real world is unchanging and eternal. It is world of ideas, not senses, where there are perfect forms of the things we know on earth. Now here we can see the differences between the material world and the world of forms. Well, in other words, the world of immaterial entities. Now the world of forms is transitory. It's always changing in time and space. The body weight changes, the aging process continues, and the things in nature also changes. Trees and plants, vegetation, the number of animals, etc. But the world of forms is outside this time and space constrictions or restrictions. The material world is relative to time, space, but the world of forms is real and absolute. It's unchanging because it's the world of ideas. The material world is always changing. The world of forms is unchanging. The material world is impermanent. The world of forms is permanent. The material world is superficial, and the world of the forms is what matters the most. The material world is contradictory, are subjected to opinion, and the world of forms has no contradiction. They are not subject to opinion. They are true knowledge or the basic truth. The material world is sensory, and the world of forms is beyond the senses. The material world can be measured. The world of forms is immeasurable. The material world is imperfect. The world of forms is perfect. But in reality, this form or this world of forms is non-existent. It's a philosophical way of approaching the things that we see today. Now we speak about recognizing forms. We can recognize forms because we are born with a dim recollection of them from our prior existence in the world of forms. There is an inner part of us, the soul, that does not change. It is eternal, and before it became tied down by our body, it was connected with the real world of forms. Well, there is an indication that there is presence of God, and there is the presence of existence of soul and the entity of immaterial origin. It has an indication that the immaterial origin world exists. Summing up, continued. A form is what a thing is. Forms for Plato are unchanging and eternal. Objects in this world imitate a form which exists in the real world. Example, a beautiful person is an image of beauty. We are born with a recollection of what forms are. Forms are only accessible to philosophers. Well, the forms are also related to the entities of justice, beauty, and truth. Well, in Indian philosophy, we say Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, which indicates that truth, Satyam, and Sundaram means beauty, and Shivam means justification or jurisdiction. And that is how Indian philosophy also indicates that the real world has truth, beauty, and justification in its existence and in its worldly working processes that coordinates the society. Continuing on the topic of forms, the world of the forms is the philosopher's world. A practical man wouldn't understand what forms and immaterial and material forms, all these things are. The ordinary person struggles to see the past the illusion of this world because they are ruled by their senses. Only the person who investigates and questions learns the truth behind the illusion. Only the philosopher is capable of seeing into the world of the forms because he can make judgments as he thinks independently of his senses. He won't behave theoretically, rather, he would go for the existence of truth and beyond it. Well, here is a mind map which shows the interrelationship between various worlds, the material world and the world of forms. The material world or our world that we exist, here the material objects exist subject to change and decay. They take their identity from the way that they confront to their corresponding idea in the world of forms, which goes further extends to the material world is a shadow of the real world of the forms. Then there is the other world of the forms. Here everything is perfect and unchangeable. It's pre-existing, existing, and ever existing. Here the patterns of the objects and concepts for the material world exist in a state of unchanging perfection. It is the job of the philosopher to break free from the shackles of the material world and find the world of the forms. Thank you.